One of the cool things for like developers in all these teams and in all these companies is that you have the opportunity to be the person that like brings these things to your company and to your team. And that can be like a huge value for where you work, but also a big value for your career. Copilot Coding Agent has only been around since May. Already in that time, more than 1 million PRs created by Copilot have been merged. People are using agents to like build stuff for their customers and change the end products that they provide. But I don't think that's the only way that agents like this can provide value. Like it's equally good if these agents are taking on some of the maintenance work and fixing bugs and reducing tech debt and improving test coverage. And then that unlocks more time for humans to do the really fun and interesting stuff. The first thing you kind of have to do is start to experiment and try things out, try different tasks with agents and see what your results are like. And by doing that, you start to like calibrate your own internal sense of what things are going to work well and what things are not going to work well. At the same time though, there are generally going to be like best practices you can follow. One of my mantras in this space is that for agents to be successful, ultimately they need to have access to the same things that human developers have. So if you combine together like agents having their own development environment and custom instructions, MCP, you're really starting to move towards that goal of agents having access to the same kind of stuff that a human developer has so they can be successful. One place where we've already really invested to bring agents across the rest of the software development lifecycle is on the code review stage. So last year at Octoverse, at this time of year, we launched Copilot Code Review. And that's not about helping you to write the code, but instead giving you feedback once you've written it to help you to make it better. I think another place where I'm really excited about the potential of agents for the future is right at the beginning when we're in the kind of planning phase and we're figuring things out. As we work on new projects, we're going to be thinking about like, okay, well, we need to do these 10 things. Like these 4 are a really good fit for agents, so we can get those all running in parallel. And then I'm going to hand off these tasks to human developers. I don't see us moving towards a world where developers are totally abstracted away from code. As developers, like the reason we do this job is because we love writing code. And I definitely don't want to be the person that like takes people away from that. The sort of example that I often use is like, I've written a GitHub Actions workflow to run ESLint in my JavaScript project like 1,000 times. I know how to do that. It doesn't take me very long, but it's not fun. It's not the most interesting part of my job. So I can take a lot of those kind of menial, mundane, boring, simple tasks and hand them off. The way that I look at things and what we'd recommend is that you should still be, really reviewing the code that agents are producing, and the same way as you'd review code from a human developer, like taking that part seriously and going through it and making sure, does it do the thing that it's meant to be doing, the thing that I asked for? Does it meet my coding standards and the way that we like to build as a team? And is it secure and all that kind of stuff? One of the things that I'm most excited for the future are agents that can be more proactive and can be coming up with ideas and executing on them rather than just kind of responding to commands from you. So, scanning through your code and looking for opportunities to improve performance and making those improvements and then sending them to you for review. Or it could be, improving your test coverage, those kind of things. And these are all things that over time can help to make your project better and more maintainable. I think there are obviously some people out there that are going really heavy, going really all in on agents and trying to get as much of their work as possible done by them. But most developers today are sending 10% or 20% or 30% of work off to their agents and otherwise doing the rest of them stuff themselves. We can expect that over time, the proportion of work that agents can realistically do is going to get bigger and bigger. And that is going to change the nature of developers' jobs. One of the fundamental limitations that we really have as humans is the fact that we can only really do one thing at a time, and we're just like quickly context switching between different things. And the thing that I'm super excited about with like agents that can work in the background and don't just depend on me being there all the time is that they're kind of a hack that allows us to override that fundamental human limitation and work in a totally different way to kind of become like multi-core developers rather than single-core developers. And that's something that's playing out in the way that I work. I'll be in a meeting and, collaborating with colleagues. And at the same time, I'll have Copilot working on some ideas I've got and kind of pushing little PRs forward. And then when I'm done with the meeting, I can try to get those merged. And so that's something that really excites me.